Hey guys, welcome to Southern Gal True Crime, where we feature cold cases, missing persons, some infamous cases, and more. And today I just wanted to bring you a quick update on a couple of cases that have been in the news again recently. The first being West Memphis Three, which is always in the news, it seems, at least when it comes to Damien Echols. But this information is regarding some evidence that for the past few years, Echols and his team have been trying to get tested. Don't know. They say it's to find the killer, which is, if that's the case, fantastic, because that definitely needs to be tested if it could help in any way. But in my opinion, I could be I could be wrong. I think he's still just trying to exonerate himself because he's the one that's always in the limelight now. You hardly ever hear anything from Jesse Miss Kelly or Jason Baldwin. After they were released, they went back to their lives. But Mr. Echols appears to enjoy the limelight. Once again, that's my opinion. Anyway, so that's, just wanted to bring you some information about this evidence testing that they're trying to get done. And, sorry, my background keeps wonking out on me. Anyway, and most importantly, I came across an article about Tanvi Marupally. If you haven't, I did a video, she was one of my featured missing persons, a few weeks ago, and she disappeared from Conway, Arkansas. It was believed that she ran away because the day before she disappeared, her parents had told her that they might possibly have to move back to their home country of India because there was a chance that her father might lose his job, and as any normal teenager, of course, she didn't want to go. She has a good life here with school and friends. So it's assumed that she ran away to avoid having to leave her life here. But I found an article come out 2 or 3 days ago, and when I read through it, I was a little bit concerned because just by the tone of the article and some things that were said, it's kind of leading me to believe, in my opinion, I could be totally wrong, that maybe they're shifting a little bit and maybe thinking it might have been an abduction or an accident. But I will read the article to you. We'll read it together, and I will let you make your own conclusions. And I would love to hear what you think about it. So please leave a comment and let me know what you think. And I think that's about it. So if you want to find out, stick around and I will give you all the information. Okay, the first information I wanted to bring to you, like I said, is concerning the West Memphis Three. In 2007, I believe, some new information or some new evidence came to light during the course of the well, I don't know if it's the course of the investigation or after, but Damien Echols and his legal team have been trying to get this evidence tested. They say they want to do it to find the killer, which fantastic. I'm all for that. In my opinion, maybe he just still trying to get exonerated. He's always, even after he and Jason and Jesse were released, he's always, every few months or so, pops up in the spotlight regarding the case. But like I said, that's my opinion. So we will get in. First, though, I wanted to give you some like I said, we're not going to go into the whole case because that's been debated to death. But I just want to give you some background of the case just as it pertains to this information. Let me find what I'm looking for. There we go. As it, the information that pertains to this evidence that is in question. So we will go down here. All right. Due to the dubious nature of the evidence, as well as the suspected presence of emotional bias in court, this case generated widespread controversy and was the subject of several documentaries. And we all know, I'm assuming you've seen, there's 3 documentaries. I believe Joe Berlinger made them. We'll go into those another time. Celebrities and musicians held fundraisers excuse me, to support efforts to free the men. In July 2007, new forensic evidence was presented. A report jointly issued by the state and the defense team stated, although most of the genetic material recovered from the scene was attributable to the victims of the offenses, some of it cannot be attributed to either the victims or the defendants. And I think that's where the controversy, if you will, is coming in about trying to get it tested. Oh, stop it. Go back. There we go. Following a 2010 decision by the Arkansas Supreme Court regarding newly produced DNA evidence and potential juror misconduct, the West Memphis Three negotiated a plea bargain with prosecutors. On August 19, 2011, they entered Alford pleas, which allowed them to assert their innocence while acknowledging that prosecutors have enough evidence to convict them. Judge David Lasser accepted the pleas and sentenced the 3 to time served. They were released with 10-year suspended sentences, having served 18 years. So that's the background of the evidence in question. So we will go back to this article that I found. All right. Oh, and I have to refresh the page. Sorry. All right. And this, nope, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry. Technical difficulties. Okay, here it is. Refresh. Okay, so this article comes from thv11.com. And there you see Mr. Eccles. The Attorney General asked Judge to dismiss West Memphis Three petition. So this is the petition. Damon Eccles and his legal team are petitioning to get this evidence tested. And apparently the state or whoever, I'm not a legal expert, so, are fighting. They do not want this evidence tested. So that's the basis of this. And after 3 years of fighting to get new evidence tested for DNA, the state is saying the West Memphis Three petition should be tossed out. Now the attorneys, being Eccles' attorneys, are responding in court. We are trying to find the real killers. The DNA of these children is likely in that evidence, said Lonnie Sori or Sowry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, who is a member of Damien Eccles' legal team. Eccles, one of the West Memphis Three, and his legal team have hit another obstacle as they try to get the court's permission to test newly found evidence for DNA. Now, Attorney General Tim Griffin has requested the Arkansas Supreme Court to dismiss the case based on the fact that the petition was filed in Crittenden County, but Eccles was convicted in Craighead County. Lawyers have to follow the law, and when you file in the wrong place, that's not my fault, said Attorney General Tim Griffin. We feel strongly that we are in the right. Nevertheless, this is a complete delaying tactic, Sowry explained, who is Eccles' lawyer. Attorney General Griffin expects Eccles' legal team to refile in Craighead County, but he said that it won't make a difference in the long run. He explained that the particular petition they filed is not up for interpretation and ultimately is not within their rights. Even if he files within the right court, there is no body that's required under habeas corpus because he is released, said Attorney General Tim Griffin. And from what I understand, that means that since the Alford plea and they were released, it's essentially over with. The case is over with as it pertains to Damien, Jesse, and Jason. So therefore, they have no legal right to request to have the evidence tested. Now, if Eccles or Jesse or Jason were still in prison, I believe they said they have the absolute right to have it tested if it would help their case. So that is what that means. All right, moving on. Eccles' legal team has filed a response to the Attorney General's request where they are asking the court to deny it. Ultimately, the judge will make a final ruling on whether to proceed. And if the judge makes the decision to deny the state's request for dismissal, then Attorney General Tim Griffin will get a chance to respond to that decision. All right, so that is the latest on that. In my opinion, I believe if there's evidence there, it absolutely needs to be tested, just for the fact that if it will bring some new information, whether it be for helping Eccles or not helping Eccles, or whatever the case may be, the most important thing is if this evidence could help find the killer or killers of these 3 innocent little boys, Christopher Byers, Steve Branch, and Michael Moore, then I'm absolutely for testing this evidence to see if anything can come of it. Because as always, the victims' families are the most important part of these kind of cases. In my opinion, once again, if they do test the evidence, I feel that it should, and I don't even know if this is possible, that if they test the evidence, it should be done from an outside source. In other words, whoever tests it shouldn't have anything to do with Damien or his legal team or the state and whoever tests the medical examiner, whoever is responsible for testing the evidence within the state. Because anybody who knows this case knows that controversy and allegations about how the police and prosecutors handled this case, that's a whole other can of worms that we won't go into. But regardless, if it can be tested, I would like it, it would be beneficial to have it tested. Okay, so enough about that. But I would love to hear your comments. Everybody's opinion is welcome here. So leave a comment on what you think. Just always be respectful of each other, the victims, and the victims' families. Okay, so now we are going to move on to more important matters. Let me find my article. All right, there we go. Oh, Lord. Once again, refresh. Okay. And this is concerning Tanvi Marupally. Sorry. She has been missing, I believe, 45 days now. Missing from Conway, Arkansas, believed to be a runaway due to the fact that she might have there's a possibility that she and her family might have to move back to their home country of India due to her father. There's a possibility her father might um, possibly would have been laid off from his job, although recent information said that he's in no danger of being laid off from his job. But I found this article, and I just wanted to read it to you, or we can read along together, that has some information that leads me, in my opinion, to believe that they may be shifting the way they're thinking of whether she's a runaway, or it could be a possible excuse me, I'm so sorry. The pollen down here is horrible, and it's affecting my sinuses, so I apologize for the sniffling and the voice. Anyway, so the article comes from abcnews.com, and it says, loved ones, community members continue to search for missing Arkansas teen Tanvi Marupally. It's been more than 45 days since 14-year-old Tanvi Marupally went missing near the bus pickup area at her school in Conway, Arkansas, and there are still no publicly known leads as to where she went. Tanvi's parents initially told the Conway Police Department that the Indian American teenager might have run away from home due to fear of deportation, according to the police. And I said more recent information says there's absolutely no chance of that. She had run away previously at age 11 when her mother was deported, but at that instance, she was gone less than a day and was near her house for the entirety of her disappearance, officials said. Her parents, and I hope I'm going to do my best to pronounce this right, her parents, Sridevi Adara and Pavan Roy Marupally, have said deportation is no longer a concern. The couple expressed this assurance in a video posted to YouTube of them pleading for their only daughter, to come home. Adara, the mother, returned legally to the United States as a dependent on her husband's visa, she told ABC News. Adara told ABC News that while transitioning to junior high this school year was stressful for her daughter. She's smart, hardworking, kind-hearted, and always wanted to help people, especially in high school. All of her teachers are so proud of her. She also said that Tanvi's excitement for college and the ACT she was scheduled to take in February, it makes no sense that she would run away. So that's a little bit concerning to me. Now they're saying that it would make no sense for her to run away. She would have no reason to run away. According to Conway Police Department, Tanvi was last seen walking past her usual bus pickup area at Conway Junior High School on January 17th, 2023. When she did not arrive home by bus later that day, her parents contacted the police. She was not carrying any sort of trackable electronic device, so apparently she didn't even have a cell phone, which I found a little unusual. Maybe not so unusual, that, most kids, teenagers have cell phones these days. And there is a picture of Miss Tanvi, beautiful girl. Just breaks my heart to know that whether she ran away or something else has happened, that I'm so sorry. Excuse me. That I don't want to think that anything bad has happened to her. All right. The community of approximately 65,000 people has rallied around her family in the cause to bring Tanvi home, searching the town for weeks, holding a vigil in February, and bringing home cooked meals to Tanvi's parents. You wish every community with a missing child would respond the way Conway has. And I can tell you, I live in the South in a small town, and absolutely all towns react like this when something like this happens. They come together, you get support for the family, for the community, help in searches, and so forth. You wish every community with a missing child would respond the way Conway has. Rebecca Steinbach, spokesperson for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which is NCMEC, told ABC News, "They've banded together in such a loving, positive way to bring Tanvi home." Idara, who is Tanvi's mother, said, "Our friends, family, friends, and community, they are helping us. Literally, they are taking care of my family." But Steinbach fears awareness of the case has not sufficiently reached beyond the small town. She hopes NCMEC's latest effort will spread the word further. Excuse me. Tanvi's face will be on TV screens at gas pumps throughout the states of Arkansas and surrounding states of Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Missouri over the next month, she said. NCMEC also has a dedicated case manager working in conjunction with law enforcement and the family to offer resources and assistance daily, according to the spokesperson. In February, the U.S. Marshal Service, which is great, joined CPD in its efforts to search for the teen, but despite a multi-agency effort, the case appears to be running cold, leading some community members to criticize law enforcement's response and begin their own sleuthing efforts. All right, and there's just to refresh your memory on Tanvi, she is 14 years old, female, she weighs 115 pounds, black hair, brown eyes, and approximately 5'5". She was last seen at Conway Junior High School, heading north on Davis Street, and her last known clothing was a purple winter jacket, pink pullover, blue shirt, and blue jeans. And if you have any information, you can call the Conway Police Department at 501-450-6120 or 501-450-6135 to leave a tip. Or if you see Tanvi, please call 911 immediately. All right. Jenny Wallace is a lifelong resident of the Conway area, former teacher and mom of 6, who organized the vigil in February and continues to advocate for more resources dedicated to finding Tanvi, as are other local parents. Tanvi's mother confirmed Wallace has grown close to their family since her daughter's disappearance. Wallace told ABC News that she believes in the crucial period of the first 2 weeks of the case, Conway Police Department failed to address the teen's disappearance adequately. Arkansas State Police... Sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay. Arkansas State Police confirmed neither an Amber Alert nor Endangered Missing Advisory were sent out in January, which Wallace claimed she begged the police for. In an email to ABC News on Thursday, CPD Public Information Officer Lacey Kneep said they were in contact with Arkansas State Police regarding issuance of an Amber Alert, since that agency decides what case qualifies for alerts, but added, while Arkansas State Police is sympathetic, ultimately they determined that the information we have at this time does not meet the requirement for an Amber Alert. I don't know how that can happen, but anyway. In an email to ABC News, Arkansas State Police stated, based on the information provided by the Conway Police Department on February 17th, the case did not meet the Arkansas State Police requirement for an Amber Alert. We did not receive a call before February 17th, they continued, which was a month after Tanvi went missing. For cases to qualify for an Amber Alert, the U.S. Department requires specific criteria to be met, including that there must be a reasonable belief by law enforcement that an abduction has occurred, and law enforcement must believe the child is in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death. An EMA alert, according to Arkansas State Police's alert guidelines, can be used when law enforcement has a case that does not qualify for an Amber Alert. Neither Conway Police Department nor Arkansas State Police responded 2 inquiries as to why an EMA was not issued. The offense description box of the January 2023 police report, reviewed by ABC News, labels Tanvi's disappearance, and this is what I'm not understanding, as harassment conduct that repeatedly causes alarm, not runaway or missing person. But the narrative section of her report states that a bolo was sent out and she was registered into Arkansas State Police's Crime Information Center as a runaway. In an email to ABC News, Kniep stated, typically when juveniles run away, the incident is categorized as harassment. I have never heard about this when it comes to listing runaways or Amber Alert, so I do not understand this. Kniep did not respond to requests to explain harassment and why it is applied to missing children. So apparently I'm not the only one who doesn't understand this. All right. Whoa, hold on. Hold on, technical difficulties. All right. There is another picture of Miss Tanvi. Can't show her a picture enough. Like I said, if you have any information or have seen Tanvi, please contact the Conway Police Department, Arkansas State Police, or 911. All right, the article goes on to say, initially, we reported Tanvi as wearing tan pants based on a description given to us by her parents, Kniep said. We later realized that Tanvi's parents were mistaken when we received footage from the school district, and we put out an accurate release with photos from the day Tanvi left school. I think they, meaning the police, felt like this was a runaway who was going to come home, and that's how it was treated. And so we applied pressure at 2 weeks, and then they started canvassing. Wallace said of her experience, I would say more stuff is being done by police now, she added. But over a month into the case, law enforcement has not informed the public of any leads. In reply to criticism that Conway Police Department's response to Marupally's case has been insufficient, Conway Police Department listed its efforts ranging from park, town, and sewage canvasses by foot and drone, interviews with those who knew Tanvi, and surveillance footage requests, which is standard in this day with all the cameras out there. That's one of the first things they look for is surveillance footage. Conway Police Department began our search for Tanvi as soon as her parents notified us that she did not come home from school, Kniep wrote. Our concern lies with Tanvi's family and ensuring that we remain in communication with them about any updates on the investigation. Nevertheless, because of Wallace's dissatisfaction with law enforcement's response, she says she took matters into her own hands on those first 2 weeks, orchestrating her own searches in the area and reviewing door camera footage from the area where Marupally went missing. She was also pleased when the family hired a private investigator. That's another thing that I did not know was apparently her family has hired a private investigator. Idara, Tanvi's mother, meanwhile simply had a message for anyone who may have taken Tanvi and for her daughter. I'm begging, please let Tanvi go home, she said, and Tanvi, please understand your mother's pain and let us know you're safe. Now that statement, let me go back to it. Her mother says, simply had a message for anyone who may have taken Tanvi. Now this is the first that I've heard of anything that they are considering that this might have been other than a runaway. But her mother specifically says, a message for anyone who may have taken Tanvi. That concerns me very much. So let's just take that in for a minute. and maybe come in the future they will elaborate more on this statement if they do find any evidence or anything that is leading them to believe that Tanvi may have been abducted. Let's pray that is not the case, of course, but we still have to take that into consideration. All right. Officials ask that anyone with information on Tanvi's whereabouts call 911 or the Conway Police Department at 501-450-6120. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, is also taking calls and texts at 1-800-843-5678, and information can be reported anonymously. Alright, so that was a lot to get to, but I thought that, let's get back to, alright, there's her missing. But I thought that it was very important information to get out there, regardless of whether Tanvi ran away or if she has been, if they're thinking she may have been abducted. I definitely want to get this information out there. That is the most important thing that that I want to do here with my channel. Do just a little part, and in getting information out there, keeping these cases in the spotlight where they need to be, so they won't be forgotten. In hopes of, best case scenario, bringing Tanvi home. Worst case scenario, finding out what happened to Tanvi. If you found this, please like and share this video, like I said, to get the information out. If you like the content that we have here, please do subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notifications of when I upload new content. Like and share our videos. Most importantly, I always say this, our missing persons and unsolved cold case features that we do. That is the most important thing, that information that I want to get out. Thank you for watching. Everybody stay safe out there. Take care, and I'll see you next time.